Hayes Q Jones, your DVD and Blu-ray baller on a budget, and this is HQ Videos for you. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're a current subscriber, what's up? You're greatly appreciated. Come on in, make yourself at home, you know the routine. This channel is for movie lovers and collectors of all types and genres and format. Doesn't matter if your genre is horror, action, drama, sci-fi, fantasy. Doesn't matter. Same with the formats. Laserdisc, VHS, Blu-ray, 3D, 4K, Betamax. It doesn't matter. All collectors and movie lovers are welcome. And on a weekly basis, I like to share some of the things I've picked up. This week is what I picked up at Big Lots. Found 3 very cool horror pictures. I think they're all 3 I haven't seen before. Have a very cool Scream Factory release. This beautiful Stephen King Blu-ray import of a miniseries. I have a 3D pick for the week, as well as just a whole load of really cool stuff I picked up online. But before I get into what I picked up, not only do I collect movies, yes, I'm one of these weird, wild individuals. I actually watch them. And on a weekly basis, I like to share some of the things I've watched, either streaming on the Fire Stick, actual physical media in my collection, or out in the theater with my family. And I want to kick it off with something inspired by one of my subscribers, Salsky90. This is a 2013 fantasy horror thriller remake, Evil Dead. Directed by Fede Alvarez, produced by Sam Raimi, also written by Sam Raimi, starring Jane Levy, Shiloh Fernandez, Lou Taylor Pucci, Jessica Lucas, and Elizabeth Blackmore. And the plot behind this story is Mia, a young woman struggling with addiction, heads to a remote cabin with a group of friends where they discover the Book of the Dead, and they unwittingly summon one of the dormant demons which possesses the youngsters one by one. And I actually really like this remake. One of the reasons I believe I like it because the originator, Sam Raimi, wrote, and produced this one, so it has a lot of the same elements of the original. They keep the same basic storyline, great creep factor, great special effects on the characters, and it's a really decently evenly paced horror picture, so there's not a lot of lulls in the movie. If you're squeamish about blood, you probably don't want to see this, but lots of blood, lots of creepy parts in it though, so excellent movie. This takes me to my second pick. This is the 2023 horror movie Evil Dead Rise. This is the sequel to the second installment or the second series of the Evil Dead. This was directed by Les Cronin, also written by Les Cronin, produced by Ramel Adam. This stars Marabi Peace, Richard Crouchley, Anne-Marie Thomas, Lily Sullivan, and Noah Paul. And with this storyline, you have a reunion between 2 estranged sisters. It gets cut short by the rise of this flesh-possessing demon. It thrusts them into this primal battle for survival as they face the most nightmarish version of a family imaginable. And I watched this with a little more critical eye. Solsky90 seemed to think that this one's better than the other Evil Dead, the first Evil Dead I just mentioned. And to be honest, it is. It lulls a little bit in the beginning for the first 30, 40 minutes. We're kind of building into the story, building into how the child, or one of the children, acquires the Book of the Dead. But about the 45-minute marks, it gets ramped up. The creepiness and the horror and the blood, each scene builds upon the next. It's like they're trying to outdo each other, where it kind of escalates to this weird spider-like type of creature. And I don't want to give any spoilers away though, but it actually is better than the first movie. That ending, it just really ramps it up to a pretty decent ending. So if you like that horror gore with a relatively decent storyline, great special effects, the way they made the mother look, she was just utterly creepy, you'll definitely like Evil Dead Rise. My next pick is a 2018 horror mystery thriller, Possession of Hannah Grace. This is directed by Diedrich von Rugen, produced by Andrea Ajamian, and written by Brian Sieve. This stars Shay Mitchell, Gray Damon, Kirby Johnson, Nick Thune, and Louis Hertham. The plot behind this, you have a young female police officer who is just out of rehab, and she takes a job at the graveyard shift in the hospital morgue. At that point, she faces a series of bizarre, violent events caused by an evil entity in one of the corpses. And this starts out fire. It starts out with this great possession scene, which kind of reminded me of The Exorcist, where they're dousing her with the holy water. The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you. Except in this one, they like to have a super soaker of holy water. If I was an exorcist, I'd have me like a 12-gallon thing of holy water, just dousing who's ever possessed. So I thought that was kind of funny though. But overall, the movie's entertaining. It has a few creepy scenes, but it's not something that you're gonna lay up at night thinking about that one specific scene that really creeped you out though. But overall, it was entertaining. My last pick is another remake. This is the 2024 American supernatural horror film, Salem's Lot. This was directed and screenplay by Gary Dauberman, produced by James Wan. You might know James Wan from the Saw, Insidious, the Insidious franchise, the Conjuring franchise. Also produced by Michael Clear, Roy Lee, Mark Wolper, based on the Stephen King's novel, Salem's Lot. And it's the first feature film adaptation of the book after the previous miniseries versions from 1979 and 2004. The plot centers on a writer who returns to his hometown of Jerusalem's Lot in search of inspiration, only to discover the presence of vampires. I've seen the 79 one, I've seen the 2004 one with Rob Lowe. This one, it really seemed like it was made for television. I did like the leading actor of the kid. I thought he was probably one of the smartest people in the movie. The special effects seemed like it was back from early 80s. The overall feel of the movies felt like it was kind of an 80s type of movies because there were really no really creepy, scary scenes in there. Some of the scenes that I think were supposed to be scary, for example, when Alfred Woodard was in the morgue and the corpse starts moving and they have these tongue depressors, they put them together as a cross. My wife actually laughed at that scene. It was actually more humorous and scary. The special effects seemed like they were back from the 70s. I did like the glowing crossing. I thought that was cool. But it had kind of an overall 80s feel to it. 80s horror just kind of had like this tongue-in-cheek type of humor to it. I'm not sure if they were going for that appeal, but that's the way it felt. The ending seemed very anticlimactic. At the ending, I'm looking at my wife, is like, is that it? Is that the ending? There really weren't any real plot twists. And it was just an overall okay movie. I didn't think it was a great reboot or revamp of what I think is a great story, Salem's Lot. And actually, if you want to see my views on other Stephen King's reboots or movies that I think need a reboot, check out the link below. But overall, it was a fun movie. A little disappointing. It wasn't what I expected from a reboot. It seemed like, again, it was made for television, not for Max. I would expect something a little bigger or better, though. But again, I still found it entertaining. Now, without further ado, sit back, relax, have a drink, have a smoke, and I'll catch you on the other end of this video. We're back at the Black Cave. Back at the Black Cave. We are back at the motherfucking Black Cave. Have some bangers here. Have some horror pickups from Big Lots. Have some Scream Factory. Have I believe an out of print Warner Brothers. Have a non-horror Kino Lorber 3D pick. So have a Stephen King import series on Blu-ray. So got some bangers here. Let me get these scanned in and we'll jump right into it. Hold on. We're just going to jump into what I picked up at Big Lots. First, we have Held. This is a magnet release. This is like a home invasion movie. And of course, I have Mr. Wesley Snipes here, aka the real Blade. My Sling Blade, my Billy Bob Thornton. Open this up and paid $4 for this. And it's just the Blu-ray. So I haven't seen this as a blind buy though, but it looked pretty interesting from Magnet Magnolia. Excuse me. Yeah, Magnet Magnolia. Held. Next, I've seen this before. I thought this was actually an animated sequel to the Dwayne Johnson Rocks Doom, but this is, I guess it's kind of a sequel, I guess. But it's not animated. I actually had to look it up before I actually purchased it. I haven't seen this. Have the Common Universal DVD and Blu-ray, nothing special. Have the code, see if that still works. Doom Annihilation. And my last pickup from Big Lizzie's Big Lots, The Cursed. And I believe I saw this streaming. Maybe. I'm not sure if I'm mixing this up with something else. So, but very nice slip cover. Only $4 if I can get that damn sticker off. Open this up. And this is a decal. Not really familiar with them. Decal label. Where is it? LD Entertainment. I'm gonna go with LD Entertainment. And I'm actually not sure if I've seen this before. The Cursed. After a while, you watch so many movies, they start to blend together. Very nice slipcover. So this is what I picked up at Big Lots. Next, do some kind of random picks here from eBay and Amazon. Start with The Return with Sarah Michelle Gellar. This is just okay. I remember getting on DVD and then rewatching it on Blu-ray. It was just okay. It seemed like I remembered it to be better than what it actually was. This is a Universal release, The Return. Next, we have Trick with Jamie Kennedy, Omar Epps. Those are the two main names I recognize on there. This is a horror picture. I can't remember the plot on this one. But this is a RLJE release, Trick. Next, I believe this is going out of print, but with Warner Brothers, I don't know, maybe this will become a Warner archive. The Wicker Man, shocking alternative ending, not seen in theaters. This is actually, I believe it's a remake of another Wicker Man. I can't remember who's in that original one. But it's Nicolas Cage and a much more subdued kind of
calmer role, not quite over the top, and especially in his most recent movies, he's like really over the top with the Renfield and a lot of the new horror movies he's doing. But very good watch. The Wicker Man, Warner Brothers. Next, this is an import of a Stephen King miniseries, Kingdom Hospital. And if you like miniseries, again, and some of his movies, let me put it, if you like novels and you like the details of the characters, but you don't want a whole series, this is pretty good. The miniseries for you, Kingdom Hospital. It's not quite as long as like a Netflix series, but long enough where you get a lot of detail of the characters and you kind of get into the plot. It's not really fast-paced, but pretty decent watch if I remember correctly. And these must be all the imports. I have the 4400. That's probably the only one that I have on this list. I have all the Taken movies. Sebastian Cabot from Family Affair. Police Squad. Interesting. Well, Stephen King's Kingdom Hospital. Next, we have a Scream Factory release, Lord of Illusion. I believe this might be going out of print. Got it at a decent price, but I think you still find a few copies for a reasonable price. Lord of Illusions. It seemed like at this time there's like a lot of illusion movies coming out. I think there was one. The guy who played the original Hulk, I can't think of his name right now. Another illusion movie. This is Clive Barker. Scream Factory. And this kind of a random Kino Lorber pick for the week. Thunderbolt and Lightfoot. Clint Eastwood. You have young Jeff Bridges. I haven't seen this in years, but I saw it on television. And my 3D pick for the week. It's not horror though, but sometimes war can be horrific. You have World War II in 3D. This is a History Channel release. And this, ladies and gentlemen, make up my Big Lot weekly pickup. If you're familiar with the channel, this is where I separate the artwork from the disc and the plastic. Some of these might actually make the actual shelves, so let me get these organized and get you good people on your way. Hold on. I have everything scanned into my CLZ Movies app. C is in Caligula, L is in Lord of Illusions, Z is in Zombie World. Let's knock this out. I have everything laid out, ready to be put back in its proper place. As usual, I appreciate each and every one of you tuning in, leaving comments. If you made it this far, smash the like. Give me the big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, I greatly appreciate it. Subscribe. Other than that, may the best of your past be the worst of your future. Everyone be safe. Deuces.